Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Think Tank Sports. Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen. Check us out on the socials if you would please: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen to us on Spotify for podcasters or wherever you get your podcasts. We are out there on just about all of them: Amazon, Pandora, Apple, Google. Yeah, Stitcher. Yep, we're out on.
SoundCloud.
Yep, we're out there. So you can, for our tens of fans, you can find us and watch us on YouTube, of course, as we continue our video display of Think Tank Sports. And it's Monday, so we're trying to get back into a little bit of a routine here. And normally Monday night recordings are Major League Baseball and our beloved New York Yankees. And that's what we're doing on Monday night: baseball and the Yankees. Mike, how the heck are you over there?
Doing wonderful, Dave. We got to mow the lawn today, which is always one of my favorite times to just crank up the music and chill out and be, one with God and nature and all that stuff. And so that kind of
listening to your
good path.
Godsmack.
Yeah. So, in a good mood, feeling pretty centered, and come in and turn on the Michael K show to hear them debating, Dave, that the Yankees are starting what's called the B team tonight in their first game in Toronto.
Oh, really?
Season. But we'll get there. Let's go back to what we deem the most important series of the season thus far. And that's the games with the Toronto or the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yep,
and,
them too.
Yeah, both of them. Both division opponents. So last Thursday, Dave, was a tough game. Playing down in that. Again, I'll complain about the stadium. I hate that place. Everyone
Yankee
does.
Stadium? You don't like Yankee Stadium?
Oh, right. They were in Tampa. Boy, I'm all over the place right now.
Already struggling. You said you were in a good place after mowing the lawn.
Yeah, I guess I'm not in a baseball place. Was this no, this wasn't the Star Wars night. That was the next night.
No, that was Friday night. No, this is the Rasmussen handcuffs them until late. No runs, nothing until the bottom of the ninth for the Yankees. So it's 8-0. Yeah.
Right. And you get in shades of before Oakland when they weren't hitting. And, it's like, Oakland came in and we kicked their butts because that's what everyone's doing to Oakland this year. But, a first game against Tampa, coming off of that series, and we lay a big egg.
Huge egg. And Herman, again, this is his third good outing in a row. Gets into the sixth inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, just 1 earned. I don't know what you want to say there. I mean, at least he did things,
fine.
but the bullpen is just really struggling. Marinaccio has been up and down. He gives up 2 runs. Abreu gives up a run. They call up the Weber kid and he gives up 3 runs in the last 2 innings. And
I felt bad. They're like, he just got here an hour ago and now he's in the game or whatever. But that them's the breaks. You want to play in the major leagues, you got to overcome that adversity as well. So Abreu continues to be one of the more frustrating guys out of the bullpen because the stuff is so good. He'll uncork this 99 running into a right-hander fastball that nobody could hit, and then he'll just toss a frisbee up there and gets knocked out of the park 450 feet. So they're very frustrating. Marinaccio's the same way right now. Both of them, they're the same pitcher. They got good hard fastballs that run, but they don't have great control, and the slider that's dominant when it's on, but when it's off, it's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. So
like Saturday's game, Marinaccio comes in and faces 3 hitters and doesn't get anything done, and then yesterday comes in, it's like bang bang bang, 1 2 3. So very, very frustrating.
As much as I'm going to complain about Boone's use of the rotation here in that bullpen, he is handcuffed. They do have a ton of injuries, and guys are not coming back. We've been pretty positive on the injury report,
Mhm.
But it's time. Where are they? Where are they?
Yep. And
We'll
we're
get to
getting
that
there,
again.
right? Yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely getting into that. So Friday, Mike, as you mentioned, the Star Wars night. Yes, it was Anthony Rizzo Star Wars bobblehead night at Yankee Stadium.
And they're
And
labeling him a Mandalorian. Can you, for the, let's say, men that have actually kissed a girl before, tell us what a Mandalorian is, and is it an honor?
yes, Boba Fett.
Yes,
If you know Boba Fett
I
is a
do.
Mandalorian. That's,
There's a whole series on
there's a
Disney
whole
Plus about
series
it, right?
that's
Yeah.
the Mandalorian that is not
So are they
Boba
like a
Fett, but yeah,
special
it's a
Jedi, if you will?
no, it's their own race. They have their own
Their own.
planet called
Wow.
Mandalore, thus them being Mandalorians.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
Oh,
so
they're
it's
bounty hunter types, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
definitely Boba Fett was, yeah, there definitely is a piece there of that. But yeah, so
Okay. This
um
Geek of the Week segment brought to you by Double Dip Dave. I'm a Star Wars fan, obviously not to the level that you heard Dave is. And that's nothing wrong with that at all, obviously. But
well,
I like to give him a
obviously, I
hard time.
mean, you're
Obviously.
not going to come on the podcast and start dissing Star Wars because
No.
then we're going to actually have some real fisticuffs that are going to
Okay.
happen here across the screen. But anyways,
Speaking
so
of
to the
fisticuffs, lots of inside pitches on Star Wars night, both
yeah,
ways. The Rosarena gets plunked twice. Uh,
he is like the
I
Yankees' favorite to plunk. I mean, they've hit
Yeah,
him
but he
so many
kills us
times
too.
this year.
Yeah. I don't blame him for getting frustrated. I really don't. But
Yeah.
also a very punchable face. So,
Well, and he does hit a home run in the first inning. So,
and he does the
he's,
stutter step around third and all of that.
yeah,
Like mocking Stanton almost with a handoff for the football.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no place for that. I mean, that's just get out of there with that. But Rizzo comes back, and gets a home run, and so they go back and forth in this game. Volpe homers and ties it up, and oh geez, back and forth these games go. It's been great, close, tight baseball. Feels kind of like playoff baseball a little bit here.
Yeah, the Rays players said it felt like that over the weekend, especially with the Yankees comebacks and, this game Friday night with the 9-8 comeback win. The joint was jumping for sure. And then the next night when Rizzo hits one, I mean, that shot, the first home run Rizzo hit on Saturday, Dave,
Friday.
was back. Oh, right. It was back of the second deck. I mean, that was rarefied air for regular at bats. I'm sure batting practice, they get it all the time. But wow, what a shot. And then they pitched to him in the ninth. I was surprised. They challenged him on an inside fastball. He's inside the plate. I know that drives pitchers crazy where he sets up, but he's got a right to be there. And he's there for that pitch. He does not want the inside fastball. If it's coming at his hip, he's throwing it open and driving it. And that's exactly what he did to win the game. So what a night. Talking about feeling good after mowing the lawn, Dave. Feeling good after a Friday night, big Yankee comeback against a division rival. And Peralta shows the emotion with the save. He's now become the de facto closer, the poo-poo platter of closers. Wandy Peralta doing a nice job. As a lefty, he's effective. Right now, he's a pitcher that goes in spurts as well. Right now, he's getting everybody out. So good job.
And they continue to use Clay Holmes in the 8th inning, and he seems
settled there.
He's settling. The ERA keeps coming down. After this game was at 4.61. So we're working our way down there.
And Bader and LeMahieu, Volpe, like you said, everybody's participating, but they're a little sloppy, Dave. And we'll get to the weekend games in a second. I just feel like even some of the things that aren't showing up. There's been a couple plays where Cabrera has bobbled a ball and didn't get a double play, which he should have. Adding pitches to the arms that we don't need. things like that, silly things like that don't show up in box scores. You have to say they've been a little sloppy, but you got guys playing out of position, so that's going to happen.
Yep, for sure. And
have you seen that, or what?
Not as
or
much. I
heard
mean,
that,
you've been watching more than I have. I've been listening on the radio a little bit more,
Right.
which was very interesting as we transitioned.
Who was covering? Yeah, go ahead.
To Saturday. And I was trying to think, I was listening Saturday. He never said his name. And then I was listening Sunday and he said, this is, Justin Shackle. That's right.
Oh, right.
Justin Shackle. Yep.
He's been around a little bit.
He's been around. He does like updates on Sirius XM. And yeah, I mean, he's good. I mean, he's very,
he's so generic.
Yes. I was going to say robotic was the word I was thinking. But when you think about John Sterling, he's like on the opposite end of that. Like you don't get,
you're not going to get John Sterling 2.0, right?
Balls and strikes and, missing stuff.
With Chat GBT, this new,
yes.
Okay. So there's a fear that this artificial intelligence called Chat GBT is going to take away some jobs, and it's been very interesting to see some of the things like you can put in and it'll give you legal advice, and it's accurate because it can't not be accurate. So this play-by-play guy sounded like Justin Shackle, like he was artificial intelligence, like he used Chat GBT, created him to call that game. And folks, that's where we're heading in the future. Personality is going to be out the door because they're going to say, oh, don't you want someone to be completely accurate? You don't want 100% accuracy in everything that's said. And for me in sports, no, I love when someone's wrong so we can argue with them and debate it back and forth. That's, that's why we have a podcast, because you're wrong all the time, Dave.
Yep.
And really? I love to tell you.
Really? Yes. Yep. Yeah, you do. But this series was in Yankee Stadium, not in Tampa, Mike, but well,
I keep saying that.
Yeah. So we move on to Saturday and, another tight game. And then, things just go crazy in the fifth inning. The Rays just go off. Nestor Cortez can't find the plate. They score 5 runs. So it's 6-0 after 4.5. And, you're like, oh, well, what the heck is going on here? Where, it's another game. The Yankees are getting way behind, but no, they decided we're going to battle back on this day, Mike. And
showing some life.
Higgy gets it's a 2-run home run. Judge gets a 2-run home run. Judge gets another 2-run home run. I mean, it's just crazy.
And that was so good to see because his timing was just a little off when he came back, and he hit that curveball for a home run, the first one, and he just put the front foot down perfectly. It was just a picture perfect Aaron Judge home run swing, and it was like, okay, let's go now. We go. Now we go.
Well, and then the second one, Mike, and so I'm listening, and Justin Shackle was doing the game, and it was not exactly it wasn't John Sterling-esque at all, but he did get excited.
Well, I'm glad he didn't try to do a Sterling impression.
No, not at all.
To be himself. Right?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
It was just very loud, and what was really interesting was his description that Arozarena didn't even move. I mean, that's how this was a shot, 439 feet. It got out in a hurry into the second deck down the left field line, and he just said Arozarena didn't even just turned and looked, didn't even move. And I'm dumbing it down here. He was pretty animated when he was saying it, but he did a good job. He did a good job describing it. And then they kept going, then
why Sterling out? I'm sorry, I digress.
I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I mean, I was thinking Saturday because it was a day game after a night game.
Right.
But then Justin Shackle did the Sunday game too.
Yeah. So
So
There must be
I don't know. We need to
an
dig
injury. All right.
into where
Well,
in
let's
the
keep going
world
on this
is
game.
John Sterling. Yes.
Yeah.
So after Judge homers, Rizzo comes up and throws down a bunt, Mike.
Yeah.
And gets on and just crazy things. But they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And then LeMahieu walks, and Bader gets on, and then Cabrera comes up with the bases loaded, and
I'm so happy for him.
yeah, and he hits it. Mike, last year, with the shift on, that would have just been an out to first base, because they would have had, Cabrera hitting left-handed. They would have had the three infielders on the right side, and he would have hit right into the shift, and that would have been it. Not so fast, my friend, not this year. He hits it just in the right spot, and the second baseman dives and can't get to it.
That's right. But that's baseball, Susan, as John Sterling would say. That's the way baseball's supposed to look.
Yes,
Not
exactly.
This last 7 years of ultra shifts, and it'll be interesting to see how history looks upon that era in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess not super kindly.
Well, it's so interesting because if you think about, Rizzo last year, what he hit like 212, 220 or something like that.
With
and we said,
right.
And we said Rizzo is going to be somebody who's going to be benefit. Look, he's hitting after this game, he's hitting 311.
Yeah.
So, Rizzo definitely having a great year. So that's exciting. Yeah. The Yankees get ahead, and then, the bullpen holds on, which was nice. Clay Holmes, he did a work around some hits, but he gets the hold. Poo platter Peralta comes in and gets another save.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this was a great comeback. The crowd was just, oh my God, they were going crazy.
So much fun, right?
My gosh, the Yankees scored 9 runs in the bottom of the 5th and the bottom of the 6th. It was just crazy. It was just a great game.
Right.
Good for the Yankees. But then Sunday, and Mike, I need to go back and look at this, and I haven't had a chance to, but the Yankees give up so many first inning runs.
Yeah.
It is just ridiculous. It's like every time I turn it on, they're done. Like they're already behind every game, and you can't keep doing that.
Meredith Marakovitz asked Aaron Boone that very question in the pregame gaggle today. And Boone said, yeah, we're going to change up some routines as far as how early people warm up or how much they're throwing. Are they too tired? They're definitely aware of that phenomenon you're speaking of and are addressing it. So it's definitely an issue inside, the New York Yankee organization. So interesting that you picked up on that, and they already had a plan in place. Well, we'll see if they have a plan in place. We'll see what happens. I can't imagine if you got to the level of starting pitcher in Major League Baseball that you don't know when your arm's ready, or you don't know, how long exactly it takes for you to get warm. Like big old Jeff Nelson in the bullpen would say, I need 7 pitches. If you give me time, those guys, Graham Lloyd, Mike Stanton, they're ready at the drop of a dime. So it's just very interesting, I think, to see if the Yankees make an adjustment there or they stay with the same routine. But yeah, they're getting jumped early, and they have to climb mountain after mountain. And when you are depleted injury-wise, that's just going to catch up to you, and that's what happened in this game. So the Yankees fall behind. What was the score? Was it 6-0 again on Sunday, I believe?
Well, no, they were actually ahead because they had the 4 runs in the 3rd, but they gave up. They were down 3-0. And again, for me, the big thing is the runs in the first inning. Like,
that's fair.
You're not even out on the field, particularly when they're at home. You're not even out on the field, and you're already losing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, then it was 7-4. So
Yeah, and
7-4,
Rosarena does
8-4.
the same stuff to us that he always does, unfortunately. And he just continues to crush us. It's brutal, dude. Now on Sunday, Yandy Diaz, who was having just a career season
Yeah, he's having an MVP type year.
for sure, gets to third. Probably the first thing I've seen with the bigger bases, kind of slides off. Not he doesn't slide, which he probably should have to begin with. Stops awkwardly, and his foot slides off the edge of the base, and he tweaks his groin muscle, and now he's going to be out at least a couple of days, if not 10-day IL. And so they start. That's the first major injury this year. It'll be interesting to see, if they can hold on, stay healthy, and keep a hold of this record. But yeah, so we went into the series, Dave, saying 7 games with the Rays. How many would you be happy in winning? And we ended up getting 3.
3. Yep. So you end up not gaining any ground.
Right.
Is the challenge. And that's like we talked last week. Would we be happy with, we wanted at least a split in this series, and that's what we got, but you don't gain any ground. And when you look at, the fact that
another week deeper into the season.
Yep. Another week deeper in, and you don't gain any ground. Yep. The fact that they had to claw their way back again on Sunday, and Aaron Judge hits this shot in the bottom of the 9th that would have been a home run in 19 of the Major League Baseball parks, and just ends up being a fly ball caught to end the game. It hurts because they were so close. And, we talked last week about the series in Tampa. It's, 3-1 run games. You've got to find a way to scratch and claw one of those wins out.
Right. Absolutely.
So now they don't play them until the end of July.
So let's talk about the lineup for a second. Harrison Bader made one of the best catches I've seen in my lifetime. I saw Jim Edmonds make that over the shoulder catch live as it happened. We've seen Ken Griffey Jr., all kinds of crazy outfields play. That catch by Bader, the full extension, it was better than the Aaron Hicks catch in Minnesota 3 years ago, where we won 15-14 in that crazy game.
Oh, jeez.
And he made the last out in the gap. This catch was better than that. Okay. So you figure he runs into Cabrera, leaves the game with sore shoulder or neck area, maybe possible concussion. You figure you won't see him. He's right back in the lineup the next day, Dave.
Yep.
Which, okay, great. We need bodies, and he's on fire. Then we get the lineup for tonight's game. The Yankees travel to Toronto, and the lineup comes out. No DJ LeMahieu and no Harrison Bader, and Judge playing DH. So there's nobody back. Stanton didn't come back. There's nobody back. Donaldson's not back. Nobody came back to take up these spots. They're just giving these guys a day off because, like I said, 33 games in 34 days, you got to plan some stuff, but be smart about it. You're playing division flow in Toronto when you have Monday off next week, and you have the Cincinnati Reds coming to town
on the weekend.
Or you're going there.
Going to Cincinnati.
To Cincinnati, and then you have Baltimore after that. So, you could sneak a couple of days off there for those guys with the Cincinnati series. But no, we're playing Toronto, and, predetermined before any pitch was thrown this season that these games were going to be days off. And I get it. It's on turf. I get it. They're doing major renovations to the stadium to try to make it easier on players. So free agents will come and play there. But it's still brutal to be on the turf, when you're not used to it. And we have a lot of soft tissue injuries, but it's just so frustrating to see. Also, there was plenty of times over the weekend where the pitching changes Boone made just were head scratchers, that again, it's early, they're playing with the rotation, the injuries. I get all of the excuses, I do, but it's my experience that guys need defined roles. When you show up to the park and you don't know at any given time what your role is, especially in the bullpen,
Mhm.
those guys are such creatures of habit. They have to be, because they go crazy with all the downtime. So that's my little rant on the rotation and the substitutions. And I'm assure you, while Boone's signing off on it and giving it lip service, it's not his baseball
Yeah.
decisions going into that.
Nope. That all of that being said, Mike, the Yankees scored 3 runs in the first inning tonight against
Did they?
Toronto with a
Beautiful.
Judge home run and a Calhoun 2-run home run.
Willie Calhoun. Good for him.
So
He's having
good
a
for
little
them.
resurgence.
Yep.
Someone else that's playing well, Dave, is that Jake Bowers in left field. Is he going
Yes.
to be in the mix when everyone comes back? Has he played himself that well? Probably not, right?
Probably not. I mean, there's definitely, bodies that need to move.
Right. But they've proven they're going to stick with Hicks as a fifth outfielder on the bench or whatever.
Which is awful. And he is playing
Right.
tonight. He did get a hit to bring his average up to 167 today. So
he did a homer over the weekend.
Did homer over the
Yeah,
weekend,
we'll give him
but
that. Listen, I want to see him do well. I mean, when he's hitting, he's on a hot streak. It's pretty impressive, but it's been a long, long, long time since we've seen one of those.
like a couple of years.
So you don't think Jake Bowers is going to be a factor for the Yankees in
in
2 months? Is he on the?
Yeah,
if everyone's healthy.
If everyone's healthy, probably not.
Yeah, it's a bodies game, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see them. He's a left-handed bat. I'd love to see them keep him. And again, as we talked about, it's time to DFA Aaron Hicks.
Yeah,
time
to swallow the contract.
Yep.
Although I think they're still paying Johnny Damon this season, and maybe when he falls off, they'll DFA him at the end of this year.
Yeah. Well,
Dave, we mentioned the Yankees.
At least we're not still paying Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah, that's right. We'll always have that. The Yankees go to Toronto for the game tonight, and maybe they were inspired by their batting practice teammates, Dave.
Could be.
One Joshua Allen and Matt Barkley from the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, nice.
Had a little BP, but they were in Toronto uniforms because it's Buffalo.
Right, the Bills
and
played games in Toronto.
Cities.
Yeah.
Josh Allen hit one in the second deck, and Matt Barkley hit 5 baseballs out of the stadium, but over the wall. Wow. It turns out they used to play against each other in high school ball and that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
All those years ago, and so and Josh Allen said he was always a better baseball player than me. It just wasn't even close.
Huh. So Josh Allen homers, Matt Barkley homers
5 times,
and then the Yankees homer.
That's right.
Oh, I think
the line.
Yeah. I think there's definite motivation there.
You don't have to be Alex Jones to make that conspiracy line connect.
No, you do not.
Speaking of connections, Dave, Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles with the cycle. Second cycle this season. Do you remember who hit the first one?
God, it wasn't Volpe, was it?
No. National League East. Luis Ariz.
Luis Ariz, yes.
The Miami Marlins. Do we think, what's our official stance here at Think Tank Sports about this cycle? Is that an accomplishment that should be celebrated?
Yeah,
or is it merely a nice night that if you replaced that single with a homer would be even more impressive?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to be celebrated now. I think when you look at of all of those, I think baseball folks will tell you the triple is the hardest. Yeah. There were more triples, earlier on in baseball history because the parks were so much bigger and the outfields were so expansive. Not the case anymore, but you really have to have some sort of like misplayed ball in the outfield, or the ball has to hit the wall and go sideways. And have the outfielder, or you're just
complete opposite direction of a
really
shift.
fast.
Yeah, right.
So it's not. I still, it's a nice accomplishment, but I think
it's fun. It's fun.
the triple becomes, I think, that is the hardest one, and at times the most exciting.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of exciting, the Vegas A's, Dave, get used to saying that. The Las Vegas A's.
Yes.
Oakland has officially purchased land right
Yep.
downtown near the Vegas Strip.
Hmm.
So in 2 or 3 years, you'll have the Vegas A's. Can you imagine being given tickets to a Vegas A's game while you're at the all-you-can-eat buffet or the blackjack table, and you want to leave for 3 hours of 185-degree dry heat to watch the A's play baseball? I just say that basketball works in that town, football works in that
Yeah.
town. Maybe with pitch, clock that baseball can work in Vegas too. But color me skeptical.
Yeah. Okay. We'll color you
What say you?
skeptical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, look, Las Vegas has shown that they can support teams. Don't forget the hockey, the Golden Knights.
Oh
They've
yeah.
moved on to the conference finals for the fourth time in their 6-year history. They've been to the Stanley Cup finals once. Look, Vegas can support the teams. I agree. It's a little strange, but it's basically like a full reset. Honestly,
Oh
you've
yeah.
got these other teams out here. I know it's the A's. They will carry the A's, history as a team with them, but this is like a fresh start.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some excitement, and I think, they're going to do well. Now, I guess we'll have to wait and see, what does do well mean. I don't know
Right.
anything about the stadium yet. Are they doing like a
Retractable
smaller
roof.
ish, but is it going to be like
35.
40,
Yes, 37,000 or something.
37? So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They could sell that out.
Yeah.
Easily.
No, they could sell that out. It's just this franchise is gonna have to make some drastic leaps and bounds, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Let's get into our power rankings, buddy. Unless
Yeah.
you got anything else.
Let's do that. Nope. That's good discussion there about our Vegas A's, but yeah, let's,
they're your Vegas days, not mine.
not my Vegas A's. I don't, not even my dad's Vegas A's. I don't even know what to say
I
there.
don't think they had an era. No. Number 10 for me, Dave, since you brought it up, the Minnesota Twins.
The Twinkies.
Precipitously dropping from the 2 weeks ago number 2 spot, where I clearly messed up my list.
Yes.
I think I dropped them to the middle last week, and you probably not hear their name again out of my mouth. But Joey Gallo is off to just a crazy good start. And,
oh, geez. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's the perfect spot for him to be. No pressure. No one's gonna make you anxious, little boy. You're gonna be fine. Yeah, they're off to a good start. He's having I hate to say it, an MVP start. They're healthy. Number 10, Minnesota Twins. What do you have?
At the 10 spot, Mike, I am going to throw out our New York Yankees. They have not made my power rankings yet this year.
Okay.
I know you had them, Mike, at 10 last week. I've got them at 10 for all the reasons, we've talked about. They are starting to play a little bit better, but they have to keep at it. They're 8 games back of Tampa, but I like them. I think it was Steve that texted us the other day and had said, outside of the AL East, the Yankees had like the 4th or 5th best record in baseball.
Right.
But they're in 4th place in their division, 8 games back.
Yeah. Goes to show you, how tough that division is, and it's going to be a long haul all year. I have the Yankees at 9, so we can just retread everything we have said for the last 45 minutes.
Yep. I have the Arizona Diamondbacks at 9, Mike.
Okay.
Sneaking their way in there at 23-18, 6-4 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. Again, kind of the bottom feeders as we talked last week. But Arizona's starting to play well, so I'm going to put them at 9.
That's fair. That is fair. I have I'm gonna mess this up again, Dave.
Who do you have at 8?
Milwaukee Brewers.
The Brew Crew at 8.
Yeah, starting to fall off a little bit. Kristen Yelich is really struggling. Speaking of DFA,
except I think he's got a massive contract.
I'm sure
bigger than the one that Hicks has.
Yeah, for sure. So their offense needs a little more pop for them to really get into the upper echelon of teams, but their pitching is going to keep them in it all year, and they have here at 8.
Yes, at 8 I have the Twinkies.
Okay.
For all of the things we don't need to revisit, but they're playing solid baseball. You've talked about them all year. So I have the Twins at 8, and I have the Brewers at 7, Mike.
Okay.
So 7 for you.
The Atlanta Braves, who did get swept by the Astros, I believe, in this past weekend, Toronto.
Yes, the Blue Jays with the big sweep.
But Strider is an all-world pitcher, and
yes,
one of the sneaky, crazy stats in Major League Baseball, Dave. 12 players. I won't ask you to name them. 12 players have scored 140 runs in a season. Runs scored in the history of baseball, just 12. The last player to do it was A-Rod. Ronald Acuna Jr. is on pace for 142 runs a season. That's impressive.
Did A-Rod do the 140 runs when he was with the Yankees or when he was with Seattle or Texas?
A-Rod did it with
God, I do not remember. I mean, it could have been 2009.
Where are my notes? Bagwell did 152 in 2000. That's the most. A-Rod 143 in 2007.
Okay, so he was with the Yankees then.
Yeah. 143 runs scored.
Yeah.
So you have to have on base percentage and power. And Acuna's got both. They've got superstars everywhere in that field. So the Braves battling for me. What do you got, buddy, at 7?
I had Milwaukee at 7.
We
talked about. So I have, moving to 6, I have the Toronto Blue Jays, who you just mentioned, coming off of that 3-game sweep of the Braves, and looking very solid at 24-16.
Yeah, no, they're a good team, and I have the Blue Jays, so we just flipped them at 5.
You have the Blue. Who do you have at 6?
Or 6? I'm sorry.
Oh, we have both. They'll have Toronto at 6. Okay,
we both have Toronto at 6. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be
this up again.
Curious to see what your mystery team is in the top 5.
There's always a mystery
since
team,
you have Atlanta at 7. At 5 for me, Mike, is the Texas Rangers. They just continue to play solidly. Now they just, came off a series with those Vegas A's that we talked about. However, still having a very good year at 25-15 plus 97 run differential, second best in the league. So they are playing well at home and on the road.
Here's the mystery team, Dave. Number 5, Philadelphia Phillies.
Wow, Mike.
They followed up
20-20 Philadelphia Phillies ahead of the 25-15.
I'm guessing you don't have the Orioles on there, or you do have the Orioles on there.
Oh, I have the Orioles. Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
But,
so about the Phillies.
Anyway, the Phillies getting healthy, especially at pitching and bullpen. Harper's on his way back. Have just had a terrible schedule to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
To come out of that at 500, coming off World Series, experience, and getting healthy. I give them probably too much respect, but Philadelphia Phillies at 5.
Okay, that is definitely your surprise team, and color me surprised. I have the Baltimore Orioles at 4, Mike, 26-11 and 14. Geez, at 650, Mike. Second best record in all of baseball.
Yeah. I have them as well.
At 4.
Yeah. I lied when I said I didn't have them. I was thinking of who is the team you had that? Oh, Arizona.
I have Arizona, and you had Philly.
So full disclosure, folks, I've been going with a new format with my notes to do the power rankings, and after 2 weeks ago and this week's experience, I'm going back to the old format. So, just so you know, I'm not confused. I'm not inebriated. I'm not anything but old and stupid.
I'm not anything but old and stupid.
Other than that, I'm sailing through life.
Other than that, there's one of your
I need to
hosts,
go mow the lawn. And feel
yes,
better.
at Think Tank Sports.
You're welcome.
We think you listen, but
That's
I don't know.
We
We'll
think
see.
you listen. We hope
think
you listen after this.
Yes.
Because the number 3 team is the Texas Rangers. Boy, that Nathan Eovaldi. I hate that he's been all over the league and doing well. I said this a few weeks ago too.
Yeah. And we've
dude
been saying
is just a stud for them. He eats up innings with DeGrom out. They've just done a nice job, and they're hitting like crazy. They're going to be a team to be dealt with all the way home.
Yep. And we'll see. They are going into a series with the Braves, Mike. So that'll be interesting. I have the Braves at 3, despite the fact that they, got swept away by Toronto. I still think they're very good at 25 and 15. And then I'm guessing we have the same top 2. I have the Dodgers at 2, Mike, and Tampa at 1.
Yep. I think Tampa's reign at 1 could be coming to an end shortly. I mean, the Dodgers just flipped a switch for the last couple of weeks, and Clayton Kershaw has dipped himself in the fountain of youth, and they're just starting to roll out there.
5 in a row, 11 out of 13. They are playing Dodger baseball.
Right. And the Rays still playing very, very well. Don't get me wrong, but as we saw, they got some injuries and some weaknesses, that they have to deal with before they're going to be a complete team. And I just feel like, water finds its level. They've been to a great start, and they'll probably continue to be very good. I mean, there's no reason to think otherwise, but, both of these teams, Dodgers and Rays, we figure it'll be around late in the playoffs. At least I do. I assume you do too at this point.
Yeah. And it's interesting with Tampa. It's certainly after, close up with the Yankees these last bunch of days.
Right.
Mike, their bullpen is a struggle, and that has been, an absolute strength of theirs for years. But the Yankees teed off on their bullpen every game.
Yeah. Well, they have 8 pitchers on starting pitchers on the IL. So, extends the bullpen. You do some bullpen starts like we talked about the Yankees tonight, even though we don't agree with it. That just stretches everybody, and you just can't get stretched too thin. The seamy underbelly is, what we saw this weekend. We just can't, as good as they've been replacing injured players and players that have moved on, eventually the well runs dry. And, we're at that point of the season for the Devil Rays or the Tampa Rays.
Them too.
Who's more punchable, Kevin Cash or Randy Arozarena? I hate to say Cash because he's a Yankee, born and raised and did a lot of good things for us. But between his "I got guys that can throw 100 miles an hour" comment a couple of years ago, and he sees the bat, the disrespect. He's very punchable, very punchable.
Yeah, for sure. I don't like the showing up stuff on the field that Arozarena has done, though. Despite all of that. So if you're going to go Cash, I'm going to go Arozarena.
Okay. So I'm all for let the kids play. punch. I definitely want to let the kids play and all of that. But when you cross a line into disrespect, and that's the debate, you can't have, who was it? Carlos Gomez hit a home run and pimped it hard, and Brian McCann from the Braves at the time stopped him at home plate, and they had a showdown about it.
Yes.
That went too far with the don't show up my pitcher type of rules,
Mhm.
but there have to be some kind of respect in rules. And I guess the answer is shut them up and beat them. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. Anything else on our Yankees or Major League Baseball as a whole, buddy? Anything else going on?
No, baseball continues to do well. The pitch clocks and the speed of the game, and all of those things. Baseball is
finally
really
heard somebody suggest the 20 seconds for the entire pitch clock besides me. Was an MLB Network, maybe DeRosa, but one of those guys that they have on, suggested that it would just, for the reasons I want, just a little more strategy, a little more take your time. We're seeing pitchers rush pitches to the plate and they're getting crushed. You can only shake off twice if you're efficient at getting the signal from the catcher, and the catcher is efficient at getting it back to you. Not that you probably shouldn't be shaking off more than twice, but traditionally, if you shook off twice, then there'd be a timeout and the catcher would go out and talk. I'm okay with eliminating that, but give them a second to get on the same page. This is important stuff they're doing. So anyway, and whether it happens or not, remains to be seen.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen the last few years, Major League Baseball is willing to make adjustments, and willing to look at things.
Have said our entire lives up until the last couple of years.
Long time with no adjustments at all. So they'll keep an eye on it. They'll continue to pay attention, and it probably won't be this year, but I guarantee you they'll look at it after this year as a whole, and that the gloves are off really as far as making changes. I don't think there's going to be any more hesitation. I think like there was for so many years about making changes to how baseball is played. I think those days have come and gone.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Speaking of coming and going, we're going to get going now, but check us out. We're going to definitely speak up about the NBA playoffs and my Boston Celtics surviving a Game 7 against the pathetic Joel Embiid and the Embiidettes, the Rockettes of the 76ers. Your boy John Morant. Somebody needs to get with him and save his life, because he's heading down a terrible path.
Yes, he is.
We'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about all the fun on the court. In the meantime, we're going to continue to watch baseball, watch it on all the platforms, and report back to you. I'm going to sharpen my notes app and get my power rankings dialed in. That's my pledge to you, our tens of fans, on that segment. But in the meantime, send us your comments, your concerns, your regurgitations here at Think Tank Sports, where we think you listen, ? As we strive for 5. Have a good night, everybody.
See ya, everybody.